The next thing I want to talk about is the view options. We kind of skipped over this in the last video, so in this video I want to spend a little bit more time discussing what each of these settings mean. This first one, called Center Views on Objects Selected. Unchecking this will stop the views from moving each time you select an object in the world browser. The next one is called Stop Camera Going Below Clipping Plane. Unchecking this will allow you to create underwater scenes. The next one is called Clip Objects Under First Horizontal Plane. Checking this in will make all objects invisible under the clipping plane. Right now we don't really know what these mean, but as we get to creating our scenes in view, we're going to have to go in here and check and uncheck things. So for now what I usually do is just leave these at default, and what I'm basically trying to do is just kind of give you just a general awareness of what these settings do in kind of a more general, generic sense. Clip objects under first horizontal plane in main view only. Checking this in will make all objects invisible under the clipping plane in the main view only. The next option is Show Decimated Mesh Previews. Checking this in will display a simplified version of the object, a decimated one, that retains the overall outline of the initial object in preview. The full object geometry will be used for rendering. The next one down is Show Boolean Blob Previews. Clicking this in will build a polygon approximation of the results of any Boolean or MetaBlob's hyperblob operations. This is not available if background draw thread is disabled. The next option, called Show Pixel Aspect Ratio Deformation in Views. Checking this in will affect the non-square pixel aspect ratio appearance in the OpenGL previews. The next option, called Fixed Camera and Light Sizes in Views. Selecting this option will make the camera and the light icons in the 3D views remain the same size when zooming. The next one, called Global Plant Display Quality Optimization. Checking this in will boost display quality of plants depending on overall polygon count. The next option down, called Preview Gamma and Expose in Main View. Checking this in will make preview gamma and exposure settings in the OpenGL preview. The next option is Show Bounding Boxes Around Groups. Checking this in will create a dotted bounding box drawn around groups of objects. The next option is called Show 3D Axes in Views. Checking this in will create a small graph displaying the axes of the views in the lower left corner of the 3D view. The next option is called Show All Cameras in Views. Checking this in will cause all cameras to be displayed in the views. High Priority Scene Preview. Checking this option in will make the preview have a high priority before all other background tasks. The next option, Independent Zooming and Panning of Views. Unchecking this will cause the orthogonal 3D views to zoom and pan independently. The next option, called Show Camera FOV in Object Properties. Selecting this will cause the size of the camera lens to be displayed as a horizontal field of view rather than focal length, and FOV stands for field of view. The next option is called Show Tooltips in Views. Selecting this will cause the tooltips indicating the object to appear in the viewports. The next option is called Show Wireframe on Selected Objects. Selecting this will cause a wireframe to appear on the top of the object, allowing for easier location of the object. This can also be affected by going to the display up here at the top. Let me close out of this. And selecting these two checkboxes here. I'm going to go back to my options menu. The next option is called Highlight Parts Using Current Material. Checking this in will make the current material appear with a brighter wireframe. The next option is Show Infinite Grid on Ground. Selecting this will make a grid display on the ground plane in the main and top views. There are 3 scales in the grid, multiples of 1, 5, and 10 internal units. The next one down is called Show Scale in View. Checking this in will make a small scale bar display in the lower left corner of all viewports. And right now that's what we have in each of our viewports. We have that option checked in. We can see that here in the corners.